Hi, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is Gary is Uber Cool, and today I'm going to be doing a review for My Hero Academia. And not only is this a review for My Hero Academia, but I guess you can also say it's my comeback video. I started doing these reviews back in, oh god, I think 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. Quite a few years ago, I stopped doing them. Just, I was only ever doing them for fun. I'm not looking to be the next big YouTube review guy or whatever. As you can see, my production value is very low. What you see is what you get. I'm going to keep it old school, like my original videos. Just, I don't know, sucker for nostalgia, I guess. And I still don't know how to video edit or any of that shit. So yeah. Anyways, I'd like to give a shout out to Nitwitch World. They actually replied to one of my posts yesterday from back, from like I said, from back in like 2010, asking if I was dead. No, I'm very much alive. Just like I said, I stopped doing these reviews just because I lost interest in them. No one was really watching them. So, this time around though, I'm doing this, like I said, I was never looking to become the next YouTube sensation or whatever, but, I guess having someone like these videos made me want to do them again. So, I'm mostly doing this shit for fun, just to pass the time. So, that being said, I also like to give a shout out to Crunchyroll. If you're not using Crunchyroll to, watch your anime on, you definitely should. They act, because let's be honest, a lot of us fans back when I first started doing this had to watch a lot of anime on not so legally, if you know what I mean. So it is nice to have an app that lets you watch all your favorite animes and whatnot for free. So if you're not using Crunchyroll, I definitely recommend doing that. It helps support the official releases of the series. And it's just great for the industry and for us fans as a whole. So definitely start using Crunchyroll if you haven't yet. That being said, so if you haven't seen one of my videos before, which you probably haven't, the way I rank or review series is based off of 4 categories: story, characters, artwork, and production value if the series has an anime that I've seen. If it does have an anime that I haven't seen, I won't really talk about the production value, or if it's just the manga, obviously that gets left out, period, completely. And like I said, they're ranked from a 1 to 10 scale. Okay, so let's start the actual review for My Hero Academia. So so if you're an anime fan or a manga fan, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 5 years or so, 4 or 5 years, you probably heard of My Hero Academia. And like I said, it's one of the most popular series out right now that's ongoing. And there's a reason for that. It is a very great, it's a very good series. So first off, I'll talk about the story, which I'll give a quick summary for. Basically, in the world of My Hero Academia, 80% of the population has a superpower or a unique ability called a quirk. And they, some quirks fall into categories, but they differ, pretty well from person to person. Excuse me. Anyways, the main character, Midoriya, is one of the 20% of people that are born quirkless, which means they don't have a natural quirk of their own. They're just normal humans in a world filled with superhumans. So, as you can imagine, he's pretty down at the beginning of the series about this. because not only does everyone have superpowers, the most sought after job in this world is being a hero. And obviously, in this world, if you have no powers, you can't really be a hero. You'll just die, like, instantly. You're not Batman, bro. Anyways, so from there, in the beginning of the series, you know, he is in middle school, and, you know, he wants to go to UA, which is the best high school for people looking to become heroes in the future. It's where all the best heroes trained when they were in high school, so that's, you know, it's a big deal. That's where he wants to go. Being quirkless, of course, there's no way he's going to get in. Well, one day he's out and he runs into All Might. Now, All Might is this world's Superman, essentially. He is the driving force of good. He's the one everyone looks up to. Blah, 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 whatever. And he also happens to be Midoriya's idol. So he meets him when All Might is stopping a villain. The villain was like some kind of like jello looking monster that he like scooped up in a ball. Anyway, so he's talking to him and he's trying to ask him if it's possible to be a hero without actually having a quirk. And he like grabs onto him while All Might jumps. So All Might basically has really high super strength. So kind of like, imagine like Hulk, he's super jumping from building to building. And at first he doesn't realize that the kid is holding onto him. So eventually he stops in the building. He's like, "Kid, you know, you need to leave me alone." And all of a sudden, All Might's body, which is very tall, very muscular, like shrinks down and compresses into like the shorter, much skinnier version of himself. And, you know, he tells Midoriya that basically he was injured in the fight, and that now he can only keep his big form for so long before he reverts back to a smaller form, and that he's actually looking for someone to replace him as a symbol of justice. So Midoriya asks him, well, you know, can I be a hero being quirkless? And he tells him, unfortunately, no, you cannot. And this breaks the kid. You know, it breaks his heart. So anyways, All Might goes to leave, but he realizes that while he was talking to Midoriya, and while he was jumping from building to building, that the ball that he had captured this villain in, you know, dropped, so he has to go find it. Even though now he's out of time to actually use his superpowers. So it cuts to the scene of another character named Bakugo, if I mispronounced that, I'm sorry, who serves as Midoriya's rival throughout the series. He is his bully in the beginning of the series. Hasn't really changed too much from that relationship with him. They've gotten a little bit better as the series has gone on, but for the most part, he's still his main rival / bully. Anyways, the villain captures the kid, and he's like, so he has the quirk to create explosions in his hands, and I guess the villain can go in people's bodies and use them. It was really weird. Anyway, so he's trying to take over the kid, and everyone's standing around. There's other heroes who are on scene, but none of them can hurt the villain, especially without hurting the kid. So everyone's just kind of standing around watching this kid die, essentially. All Might gets on the scene, but like I said, he already used up all of his power. So he's also just standing around watching this happen. Midoriya also comes on the scene, sees what's happening, and he's the only one to act. Without even thinking, he just rushes forward to try to grab the Bakuga out of the monster, who's like engulfing him in his body. And this gives inspiration to All Might, and he activates his power again, even though he's really weakened at this point. Defeats the monster in one blow quickly. Saves the kid, saves the day, whatever. So Midoriya goes to leave, and All Might catches up to him. And he's like, thank you for being an inspiration. When all of us other heroes were just standing around doing nothing, you're the only one who acted. A little kid who has no quirk. That's pretty heroic. And he explains to him that his quirk which is called One for All, is a special quirk that can actually be passed by person to person, and essentially is a power catalyst. Essentially, one person has it, they get all the power, all the strength of everyone else who's ever had the power. So that's why, they both end up being, super strength, because it's just all the built-up strength from person to person to person being passed down. All Might tells him that he's been looking for a successor to One for All since he's injured and can only keep being a superhero for so long. And he decides that Midoriya's selfless act of heroism makes him the perfect candidate to gain the power. So, of course, this makes Midoriya extremely happy and hopeful and all that good stuff. From there, it becomes, about him going to UA and starting his journey on being the greatest hero ever. As if you watch the anime, he says that constantly, and his I think the series is supposed to be portrayed as a flashback, because a lot of segments are him talking about the events as if they've already happened. So he says a lot throughout the anime. On my journey to be the greatest hero, I didn't expect this to happen, or whatever. Yeah. So for the story, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for now. It is still ongoing, and it'll probably increase as it goes on, because I really feel like the author is just hitting its stride as far as the actual plot goes. And the only reason why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 is because the beginning is a little slow, especially for the anime. Pretty much the first season starts off as a really slow build till about the last 2 or 3 episodes, and then it starts getting really interesting from there. But like I said, just that first season, or the first 50 chapters or so of the manga starts off really slowly. So I can't rank it any higher than that at the moment. Although, like I said, it's definitely one to keep going with if you're finding yourself a little bored in the beginning. It does get a lot better as far as the plot goes. But for now, I'm just going to have to give it a 7 out of 10. It's slightly above average right now. Moving on to artwork. So I'm going to be giving the artwork an 8 out of 10. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures I can really show you of the artwork. But the reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 is because the artwork itself isn't anything amazing, or is anything, to the point where we haven't seen it before. As fans of manga and anime, it's fairly standard. The reason why I'm giving it such a high grade is because of the various small characters he has to draw. Some of them vary from appearance significantly from other ones. For example, there's one guy who has 4 arms that webbed together, and he can make various body parts on his appendages on his arms. So on one part of his arm he can make an ear or an eye or whatever. Then there's another character that, you know, she has frog-like appearances. There's another one who has like these little, named Manali, who has like these little balls on top of his head that he like plucks off and throws. That's like his power or whatever. But like I said, that's just kind of his appearance. Is his hair like these little balls? So like I said, there's a lot of different character models he has to draw, and they end up, you know, looking good. So that's why I'm giving it 8 out of 10, just because it's not like he's just drawing standard humanoids over and over, you know, that just look different. It's actually very different character models, and I respect that. You know, I respect that he's able to draw those characters and make them look good. Special shout out to the character of Stain, though. He was the one, appearance-wise, who left the biggest mark on me. He oozes cool. I'll give, like, that was easily the best character appearance the author did. So, Stain. Anyways, so that's an 8 out of 10. Next, I'll move on to characters. For the characters, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. Very high grade. It's easily the strongest area of the series. You know, some of the characters do fall into classic character tropes or archetypes. Like I said, there's a character named Manaya who falls into kind of that classic pervert category. You know, he's constantly just trying to look at the girls of the class naked or whatever while they're changing. And there's Bakugo, I would say, falls into that like constantly angry archetype. But for the most part, most of the characters are very well developed and complex. I mean, even Bakugo still has a very complex personality and background story. Well, not really background story, but very complex personality to him. Essentially, he grew up having everyone tell him that he was the shit, and so when he started, you know, maturing, he generally believes that he is the guy, you know, from all the praise he received as a kid. So that kind of explains his personality, which very nicely. Midoriya, he really doesn't fall into any tropes, which I really like, because he's not like Luffy or Naruto or one of those type of main characters that fall into that idiot category that tries to do the right thing. He's not like Ichigo from Bleach, just like that badass, you know, main character trope. You know, and he's not really, and he doesn't really even fall into like the cowardly main character trope like Kenichi does from History's Strongest Disciple, Kenichi. You know, he's kind of his own character, which I really like. He kind of has he really does have a fully developed personality, which I really like. And you know, so like I said, I'm going to give the characters a 9 out of 10. It really is the strongest point. There's a lot of interesting characters. And going with them is also all their powers, which are always cool. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for the characters. So I have seen the anime for this one, so I'm going to be doing the production value. For the production value, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. It has a really good soundtrack to it that really sells up a lot of the atmosphere of the series. If, like, when the villain enters the scene, you can tell just from the music and the lighting and just, they do it very well. They do a very good job of it, which I honestly believe is one of the reasons a lot of the series has really taken off, is because they just do such a good job of building the atmosphere of the series. You know, if it's supposed to be a happy, sunshiny thing, they do that well. If it's supposed to be suspenseful or whatnot, they do that well. And just some of the action scenes are so beautifully animated for this one. I really can't praise production value enough on this one. They do a very good job. So for overall, I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. I definitely recommend it to fans of the shonen genre Or if, you know, you're more of a casual viewer who wants something that's kind of like an X-Men type show, this is for you. It definitely kind of gives off that feel. And like I said, there's a reason why this series is so popular right now. It really is a well done series, and I cannot recommend it more. So this has been my review of My Hero Academia and / comeback video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And just remember, anything I've said here is just my opinion on this shit. If you disagree with me, hey, that's fine. Whatever. Takes different strokes, you know? And if you like it, you know, I'll be doing some more of these videos. I'll actually probably post a couple more here today. And like I said, I just hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give me a like or a subscribe or whatever. Or if not, I don't fucking care. You guys have a good one.